Well, last night, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed the Employment Equity Awards, in which the SABC was the overall winner. Joining us now in studio, we've got SABC COO Hlaudi Motsoeneng, as well as the acting chairperson of the Commission for Employment Equity, Ms Tabea Kabine. Good to have both of you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Leah.
Good. Thank you. Thanks, Hlaudi. Let's begin by speaking about these equity awards. What are they all about? How do they come? They come to be?
Well, let me just first give background from a legislative perspective. The Act, the Employment Equity Act, Section 32, gives us the mandate as the Commission to implement and manage the awards. And basically the primary objective is to recognize organizations, employers that are giving us best practice in the field of employment equity. So we're talking here about organizations that are really driving transformation and going over and above just the basic compliance to really embrace the spirit of transformation and ensure that the workplace is transformed.
Okay, so that's the idea behind the award. And then what we're celebrating here as the SABC is the fact that the SABC was the overall winner of one of the awards. I mean, this is really a huge feather in our cap, Hlaudi.
Thank you very much, Leanne. I think as a public broadcaster, this is a good story to tell. We have been very vocal about transformation generally within the organization. You remember, same time, same day, same date, we have appointed 7 women same time, which it was a good sign. Yeah. But also it is important that we also won the award when it comes to people with disability. Remember previously when we arrived at the SABC, some of those people that didn't even have the tools to work.
Yes.
We did make sure that those people, they have the tools to operate within the organization, and I'm very glad that really we put that project, and that project is doing very well. But we are not happy overall. We need to do more. That is very critical for the organization, because at top level we still need to appoint more people with people with disability within the organization.
Yeah, I know that you really have been the one who's been spearheading, particularly women empowerment here at the SABC, and also for disabilities. So, I mean, this must feel like a personal achievement for you as well.
No, it can be a personal achievement. It is an achievement for the SABC. I mean, all of us as leaders, we need to make sure that when we are appointed in this position, it's not about the title of the positions. It's about the output of the work that you do. This is part of the work that I'm supposed to do within the organization and the team that I work with.
Yeah. If we have a look at other companies that are a part of these awards, that are entering these awards, that have been handed out these awards, how are South African companies doing when we talk about employment equity throughout all of the sectors of South Africa?
Well, Leanne, we're not doing very well. If you look at the holistic picture, you'll find that at top management, we still find that white males are still sitting at the top, followed by white females. And then you find the designated groups after that, and persons with disabilities are really, really right at the bottom. So the picture's really not looking good. And that is why for us, as the Commission, we felt it is time to start identifying best practice in different fields so that we can flag these organizations and say to everyone else, please look at these and look at what they're doing, and let's see how we can learn from them and see how we can move.
Let's flag some of them. I mean, who we obviously celebrating ourselves here at the SABC, but who else came out tops? Who is looking good?
In different we had different categories, if I can just put it that way. So if we look at disability, first let me just indicate that we recognize public sector and private sector separately. Okay, so if we look at disability, we recognized Old Mutual as the private sector, whereas public sector was Mpumalanga local government. Then when we looked at gender, we found Standard Bank was benchmarked, the benchmarks were very good. Petro SA was then on the public space. And then overall, we know SABC did exceptionally well, and Pick and Pay was in the private sector, the overall winner.
The overall winner there in the private sector, which is, so there are lessons to be learned. I mean, Hlaudi, obviously it's always a work in progress, and, you know, we don't sit back on our laurels because you're winning awards, but, you know, what else do you and the SABC feel we need to do to bring about equity in the workplace?
You know, for me, it is very important when we talk about transformation, what we mean by transformation. For me, transformation is about the mindset, because in some of the cases you have black people who are in charge but they are complaining about transformation, and the question is, why do you complain about transformation when you are in charge? So for me it is about, it is not about the color issue, it is about the mindset. But also it is important that after 20 years, we as South Africans, we move forward, black and white, we make sure that there is a gender equity within all the organizations.
And which is a big problem, because I mean, you highlighted it as well, is that you still look at the upper levels of management, and really to see women there is you get excited because it's not a norm. What do we need to do to try and move forward, to try and change the picture and the face of South Africa?
Leanne, very often when we talk employment equity, and from a commission perspective, remember our mandate is really to report and give a statistical analysis of what's happening in the workplace.
Yeah.
So very often it becomes a paper exercise where organizations submit the numbers and we report on them. So this gives us an indication of progress. But I always say that transformation is a matter of the heart. It's about paradigm shift. And I was saying last night that all of us have stereotypes, and it is critical that as we seek to transform, that we interrogate our stereotypes and what they're based on, and then to look at the extent to which these impede the progress that we're supposed to be making in transformation. So for me, it goes much, much more beyond just pushing numbers to really looking at what we're doing to really hold back on issues of recruitment, on creating an environment where diversity is appreciated, and where every individual in the organization at all levels is given an opportunity to perform to their optimum potential.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and just finally, Hlaudi, it's a big duty of a public broadcaster, not necessarily for the only running of the organization, but it's for what people see on television as well. It's how things are portrayed, and people learn lessons that way as well. I mean, that must be quite also a balancing act.
Remember also, Leanne, I also give a public lecture, and one of the topic that I normally deal with is transformation within public sector, especially and private sector, where I normally raise this issue about transformation. But for me, coming back home here, I mean, we have people who have transformed, and those people are white people. When you check the units within the organization, a person like Anton Hennes, he has been able to transform the unit that he's in charge for. So for me, it is important that we move from color. We talk about the country, the rainbow nation of Nelson Mandela. So all of us, it is not about the issue of color. It is about the issue of transformation as a whole, because transformation is not about the black. Transformation is all about us to transform the country. But coming home here, I'm very happy that even people with disability, if we can move from where we are always singing about people with disability, as the commissioner is saying, what is more important for me is we should not even look at the quota, because they've got their own quota, which I disagree, because it is a small quota from where I'm sitting. As she was indicating, it is about the heart. It is about South Africans, because for me, if people with disability, they are able to perform a certain duty, they can even be in majority in that unit, that they are within that unit. So I need us to move from the issue of quota just to be South Africans. Because these people are people with disability. But I know the reasons why do you have an act that address those issues, because of the past.
Yeah.
But it is important that we move forward. People with disability, we treat them equally like us, because some of them, I still believe they are better than us.
Yeah. Yeah, well, on that note, let's leave it. I think a good note to leave it and a high note to leave it. So thank you for talking to us. And we look forward to just, I suppose, seeing more companies following suit. Hlaudi Motsoeneng, COO of the SABC and the Chair of the Commission of Employment Equity, Ms Tabea Kabine, thank you very, very much for joining us here on the program. And well done again to the SABC for walking away with that top accolade when it comes to employment equity in the workplace. Let's take a break. We'll see you after this.